Zootopia is the newest Disney animated movie, and it takes place in a world where animals walk, they talk, they dress up, they do pretty much anything that humans can do. And this was one of my most anticipated movies for the entire year. And was it good? Did it pay off? The answer to both of those is yes. Zootopia is fantastic, guys. What makes Zootopia so fantastic? Well, a couple things actually. The first one is the combination of genres. This movie's a comedy, it's a detective story, it's an animated movie that kids will love, and it combines those all into one coherent movie. On top of that, you've got awesome characters in this movie. You've got Officer Hobbs, a peppy rabbit who's a new cop on the force, and she really wants to prove herself to her co-workers. And when you hear that, you're like, is she going to be annoying? Well, no, you actually see her and you're like, I want to be as optimistic as she is all the time. You relate to when you want to do something really badly, and you see that in her character, and you root for her throughout the entire thing. Then you've got her foil, Nick Wilde, the sly con man fox in the movie. And I'll stop right there because you immediately hear that and you're like, okay, you've got the peppy cop, and you've got the sly con man, and of course they're going to conflict at first, but then they're going to team up, they're going to work together for the better of the case. That is what happens in the movie, but ultimately the two have such good chemistry together that you don't really care that it is a little bit cliche on the surface. And yeah, of course, at first they don't like each other, but then they start pulling some pranks on each other and things elevate, and you're like, yeah, by the end, you can see why these two are working together on the case. One thing leads to another, then things kind of cross paths and everything. You're like, alright, yeah, these two are a good on-screen combo. I would even argue these two are so good on-screen playing off each other that they're better than some other buddy cop movies that don't even have the animated animal features going for them. I'm looking at you right along, too. Seriously, I love the chemistry between the characters in this movie. The supporting characters are also great. There isn't like one particular standout to me, but I did love that there were so many groups of animals throughout this movie, and some of them did have like certain functions that played off of stereotypes. Well, look at Nick, for example, because he is kind of the main one that we can go off of. Nick's a fox in the movie, and he's like a sly, cunning guy. Which made me laugh because, you know, in stories, foxes, they're cheating to get ahead, they're kind of slick, they're kind of slimy. So those are the foxes in this movie, they're kind of unreliable. Look at the polar bears, they do the same thing. The polar bears are mostly the security guards in this movie, or the limo drivers. They're always these, like, big, bulky roles in the movie, which I thought was really funny. Look at elephants, who are serving these, like, enormous-sized ice creams in the movie. The movie does a really good job of taking all these animals and just building a world around these animals. Not even all the animals together. There's certain sections where all the animals live, and all the sections are designed so well for each of these characters. You feel like Zootopia was mapped out somewhere, like, in 5 rooms with just one paper in every single frame of the room. The movie did a really great job at building that world. I love being in the world of Zootopia, and even more than the characters and the world building, I love that this movie combined its genres so well. I touched on this earlier, but this movie was hilarious. It never resulted to lowest common denominator humor either. This movie was constantly clever, it was smart humor, there was not one pee, fart, or poo joke in this entire movie. I feel like adults might walk away thinking this movie was funnier than kids would find it. Because like I said, it plays off the stereotypes, it does a lot of things that the cop genre does a lot, and it makes fun of those a bit. There are a couple great gags that run on for like multiple minutes throughout the movie. You saw the sloth one at the R&B in the trailer. That was one of the best scenes in the movie. They also do this other one where they go to a mobster's house. I won't spoil that for you, but that was personally my favorite part of the movie. So the one-liners are awesome, and the extended jokes are great. But a cop movie can be funny, but if it doesn't tell a great detective story, then it can kind of falter a little bit. For example, look at a movie like The Other Guys. Really funny movie, but you feel like the detective parts were written by somebody else but just wasn't trying that hard. Luckily in Zootopia, the humor is interspliced with the detective story, so when they're trying to solve the case, there's jokes sprinkled in. Then when they're saying other jokes, the detective story is sprinkled into those too. Then the animal aspects are sprinkled into all those. The movie isn't like one of these just like tug at your heartstrings movies, but there definitely are emotional moments in there too, and it does a good job of putting like the detective work, the humor, and the animal bits to the side too. And you look at some parts where, you know, like Hobbs and Nick are like bonding. This doesn't have to be about detectives, doesn't have to be about funny animals. It's just about two friends bonding. Especially towards the end of the movie, there's a lot more emotional moments, which I think hit really well. I think they were really well timed. So the movie brings in the emotion to the movie that was already hilariously clever and telling a great detective story with twists and turns in it. So guys, I'll wrap this up because I do try to keep these reviews short for you guys. I thought Zootopia was absolutely fantastic. I had a couple issues with it. One that it showed the sloth bit in the trailer that was a little bit disappointing, and the other is that the first 10-15 minutes setup was a little bit bumpy, but other than that, I thought the genre building was awesome. I thought it combined everything so well. I think that adults are going to love this movie. I think kids will enjoy the animals in it, but adults are really going to love the humor in it. I thought this movie was laugh out loud hilarious in more than one scene. The detective story was really well told, lots of twists and turns throughout. I thought the characters were great. I loved seeing them all play off of each other. Nick Wilde was probably my favorite. I just liked seeing him on stage. He was like the Jeff Winger of Foxes. Hobbs was a compelling lead too. I thought that everything in this movie that should have worked did work. Guys, Disney had a tough act to follow up after Big Hero 6, but I think that Zootopia may have even topped it. I'm going to give Zootopia an A-. It is the first movie of the year that has broken into the A range for me, at least. I thought Zootopia was so much fun. I think that you guys are going to love it no matter what age you are. You should definitely check out Zootopia this weekend. I personally recommend it. But guys, those are my thoughts on Zootopia. Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below once you see this movie, as I think you should. You guys can go over to mymoviethoughts.com, where I am posting at least one written post every single week, whether it be an old movie review, a TV show review, a news story coverage. You guys can follow me on Twitter. I am at John M. Hayek. Both links to both those in the descriptions down below. Be sure to thumbs up this video if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be posting at least one new video every single week of one new movie review or possibly a top 10 list. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching.